Hi, I'm Kathy Lindsay. Welcome to FPB's Meet the Candidates. This Cable 10 program allows you, the viewer, to hear directly from our candidates. We've collected questions from the community, and now we get to hear how our candidates feel about issues that are important to us. This is all leading up to the primary election, which is on May 17th. Today we're lucky to have Jake Banta here, and he is currently the jailer, and he is running for re-election to continue to be the jailer. So we're glad to have him here. Hello, Jake.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I think we'll just start out by you. There may be some people new to the community who don't know who you are. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and why in the past you've run for jailer and you're going to run for re-election.
Absolutely. Yeah. Didn't we just do this
I feel
recently?
Like we just did, yeah.
A couple of years ago, we ran for office after, let me start again.
Okay.
I've got 21 years of experience.
Okay.
I'm 47 years old, born and raised in Frankfort, lived here most of my life. I'm married to my wife, Melissa, for almost 24 years, next week, I think. I worked at the jail when I started in 2001, worked at the bottom, worked my way all the way to the top, and in 2007, I got the opportunity to become a deputy sheriff under Steve Clark. Started at the bottom, went to the police academy, worked my way through, ended up in 2017, I was a detective and a detective sergeant. In early 2019, I got injured and got to go to the jail light duty. And that was in May. And I believe in June, I interviewed, Rick Rogers was going to retire, and I interviewed and got appointed. Then I decided I was going to run, and I ran for office last year in the primary and in the general, and was lucky enough and blessed enough to be elected as your Franklin County jailer.
Okay. Well, because we have done this several times, I've changed up the questions a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Just to give people a little more insight just about you
Sure.
as a person and the position that you hold. So you've told us about your experience in the system. I want to ask you, what characteristics personally that do you have that you think are important for the jailer to have?
Number one's experience.
Yeah.
Experience can't be replaced. I've been continuously employed with Franklin County, whether at the jail or the sheriff's office. Even when I was at the sheriff's office, I was involved with things at the jail, sitting on boards and communicating with them quite a bit. Second of all, leadership. I've got countless hours of leadership training, and sitting in that chair up there for the last couple of years, you're going to learn every day.
Yeah.
But leading those young men and women to do better every day is the key quality that I have, experience and leadership.
Okay. For those who might not be in the know, share with us the responsibilities that you've had as jailer and how you have dealt with specific responsibilities.
Well, this last couple of years has been different. Coronavirus changed everything.
It has.
But the responsibility of the jailer is wide ranged. Number one, the leadership of the staff. The staff is the backbone of that facility, without a doubt. My name's on the door. I'm going to be at the physical court and stuff of that nature, but the staff is the backbone. Also, budget-wise, we're in the middle of budget process now. Budget's a huge thing. We want to save tax dollar money. We want to raise revenue as much as we can. So more revenue we bring in, the less tax dollars have to be paid out. And we're actively looking for that all the time. Have some good news coming.
Okay.
But leadership of the staff, dealing with the courts. I'm on the phone with attorneys and judges all the time, and trying to work in a professional manner. The jail's a negative place to be sometimes, but I preach to my staff, you're a community service provider.
Sure.
So let's be nice to people as long as we can.
Okay.
And it seemed to be working out some. I want to treat people the way they need to be treated, and that's very important too. So good communication with everybody.
Right. You mentioned that it's been an interesting 2 years, and I know that the inmates and the staff have had to deal with experiencing COVID and different procedures, and it probably has affected the population and the staff.
Absolutely.
So do you see a need to address staffing issues to be more efficient while you're still ensuring the safety of the inmates and the employees.
We address staffing issues every day.
Yeah.
We have a large turnover. It's been that way since I've been involved with the jail.
Yeah.
What I see as the last couple years, one thing we've done to address that is as soon as I became the jailer, when I was there prior to being the jailer, I noticed that we were training people for a week in a classroom setting, and then they got a week on the job training. Well, the 1 week class, anybody can sit in a class and look at a projector and learn and stay and get paid.
Yeah.
Well, what I was noticing in the first couple of days, they were actually going on the floor on the secure side on what we call field training. They were quitting like at lunchtime. So I created a thing called a ride-along program. I'm a former police officer. I didn't know I wanted to be a cop until I went and rode with another police officer. So the very first day you start with us now, you spend 10 or 12 hours on the hip of a trained deputy jailer. And then at the end of that day, we'll ask you if you want to come back, we'll train you. And what that's done is save time, their time, my time, and county finances. It's about $1,000 a week to do that training.
Yeah.
If you figure everything up. So that's helped some. With coronavirus, it's been an everyday changing process. We have navigated I'm very proud of my staff. I'm very proud of the county. Our health department right down the road here is phenomenal.
Great.
Judy answers the phone every time that I pick it up and call her, and she's a world of knowledge. The physical court's been very helpful. Everybody, emergency management, but we've navigated COVID. Our numbers went dramatically down with state inmates and stuff of that nature. We got down in the low 100s there 2 years ago. We're almost back to normal now as of today, and it's going to continue to rise. Staffing it's like a roller coaster with staffing. It's kind of like when the weather changes, the staffing kind of changes there. Yeah. But the people that has 6 months to a year, they're pretty much going to stay there.
Yeah.
It's the brand new people that they just figure out this ain't for them, and it's not an easy job for everybody, and we understand that. But we have to get the starting pay better to try to be competitive with surrounding counties. I don't like losing deputies to counties right around us because they're making $2 or $3 more an hour than us, and we're going to work on that.
So what is the process for that?
The process is getting the physical court to change that line item, and they've been really good. The physical court's been good to us. They've supported us. Last year we were able to give our deputies a raise $1 across the board without changing that line item a bit, because our numbers went down. Okay. We were scheduled to have 52. We went down to 48, and we were maintaining somewhere in the low 40s. So we were able to do that because there wasn't the numbers there. But that was just insightful thinking from myself and my chief deputy and my command staff. Said, we can give everybody a raise and not change the line item of the payroll. Yeah. So this year we're going to change. We're going to try to change the line item of the payroll a little bit more, but we're going to ask the court to help us a little bit. Yeah. But we've got to get our starting pay competitive. Yes. But you ask men and women to come in and do that job, and they can go down the street and make more money. Yeah. We have to address that. Yeah. So, and I think that we'll be fine there. Physical court's been fantastic to the jail. They've put a lot of money in that jail the last couple of years to try to get it fixed. Bottom line is they've put $4.6 million into the jail the last couple of years with the energy savings project. Now I need to ask them to invest in the people inside it.
Right.
So, and I think they'll be fine with that.
So on that, you talked about training employees to come to even decide if they want to work there. Mm-hmm. So once you do get them on board, how important is continued training for these officers?
Phenomenal. It is very, very. I've been in this business 21 years. I still go to continued training because when you think you've stopped learning something in this business, you're wrong, because laws change, statutes change, people change. The jail has changed dramatically since I started. Mm-hmm. I started at the jail in 2001, worked 6 years, went to sheriff's office for 12 or 13 years. When I came back, I was like, what in the world? Yeah. It's a different era. It's a different time. And in the past 2.5, almost 3 years that I've been at the jail, it's changed since then. Yeah. So you have to be able to adapt and make changes for the better. You can't think you know everything. You have to go, I need to listen. And my philosophy is the glass is always full, half full, and we need to get better every day. Yeah. No matter how good you are, you can get better. And I'm trying to instill that professionalism in that our training staff, it's changed several times over the last couple of years to find that right piece. And, we do 80 hours of training when you start, and you have to do 24 hours a year remedial training, and that's going to change. There's a House bill in the House and the Senate right now that they want us to do 40 hours. Yeah. I'm all for it. More training, the better off everybody is.
Yeah.
So the better my team is, the better I am.
Yeah. So if you're elected again and you're back in the jail, what would you say is the biggest issue for the jail right now? And then once you're back in as jailer, what are you going to do about it?
I got a list here.
Okay.
In the next 4 years, number one thing I want to do is become a regional jail again.
Okay.
Regional jail means I'm housing other counties, and we're working on that now. That brings revenue.
Are we not doing that right now?
No, we are not really a regional jail right now.
Okay.
We house Franklin County inmates, state inmates, federal inmates.
Okay.
But we don't have a contract with another county
I see.
at this time. I'm working on that, and hopefully we can get that done here pretty soon. That brings revenue into the jail and into the county. We're not in business to make money off of inmates, but the more revenue the jail can make, the less tax dollars, monies we have to spend. That's number one. I wanted to build a fence around the jail, and I'm just going to be real blunt. It's not going to happen for a little while. The materials have doubled, and all we need is materials. I don't need the labor.
Yeah.
We can have it built, but
Sure.
we checked on it just this last week, and it's gone. It's doubled. So it's not really the time to do that. We're going to continue to advance our training, and every time we can get better with training, we're always going to be better off. We're going to mitigate lawsuits the better trained we are. We're going to continue to find more revenue. There's other things out there that we're working on too. I know we've been dealing with COVID for 2 years, but we just haven't been sitting up here behind the desk. We've been working tirelessly to try to figure out how to save money and get better. And we're going to have to advance our pay on our deputies. That's in the near future, I hope. And we're also very excited. It came out today that we're opening the jail back up softly, is how we're saying it. We opened back up to attorneys today where they could go on a secure side and see their clients. They've been visiting through a visitation booth.
Oh.
For that reason, in-person visitation has been shut down for 2 years. As of 1st of April, I think it's April 4th, which is my anniversary. Don't let me forget. We're going to start in-person visitation through the visitation booths on a smaller scale and try that out. I've tried to reopen the jail about 3 times in the last 4 or 5 months, and every time I do, guess what?
Yeah.
We get another spike.
Yeah.
So hopefully, cross our fingers, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to get back to some type of normal. We're going to continue with our programs and advance those as much as we can. Okay. I want to get the clergy back in the jail. I want to get the GED. GED's always been in the jail. We have to stop them and start them, stop and start them. But get our MRT classes back up. Another big one I want to do in the next 4 years is we have to look at a substance abuse program. And I've looked at several other counties around us, and it's many different ways to do it. But what that does for us is it brings state inmates to us, and it also helps that inmate with a program. That gets credit for that, and it also brings more revenue because the more programs that state inmate does, the more revenue that the state sends us. Another one that we have done recently is we've had some partnerships in the last couple of years since I've been there. I'll start with Joyce Robinson Foundation. I'm thrilled to death to be a part of them. Yeah. They came to us a couple of years ago, and we've talked, and Dale Robinson's came in and spoke several times before Corona. Well, we planned last year to do a Christmas with inmates on a program level if they qualify for a certain program, if they're in certain programs, and if their kids are signed up with Wanda Joyce Robinson. We was going to do a Christmas. We couldn't do it last year because COVID was real high. We did it this past year. Yeah. It was scary.
Yeah.
But it was, in 21 years, it's the most rewarding time I've ever had in my law enforcement career. I watched kids get to spend time with their parent that they normally wouldn't. Right. In a setting, in a church. They had dinner, they opened gifts, and they had some family time. Yeah. But I watched a person that I have dealt with my whole career change. Yeah. And it gives me cold chills right now talking about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to work with Wanda and Joyce Robinson Foundation.
Sure.
So there's several programs with them. The biggest program we've got, I'm almost done.
Okay.
I love talking about the jail, if you can't
Well,
tell.
okay.
The biggest program that we've done here lately is we've partnered with UK Health and Bluegrass Care Navigators, and we have a care navigator inside the jail employed through Bluegrass Care Navigators.
Okay.
In essence, that's a counselor. She don't like me calling her a counselor, but what she is a navigator. The numbers are, last time I talked to her a week or so ago, she had talked to 19, she had signed up 19 people from the jail, inmates.
Okay.
And jobs after jail, counseling after jail, rehab after jail, all kinds of stuff that she sets up with that person. As of today, far as I know, none of those 19 people have came back to our jail. Something's working.
Right.
So that grant is good through the end of this year, and I'm hoping that we can continue that process on. That is something that is just working.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that and proud of that partnership.
Sure. Are you looking at the possibility of other programs with inmate, other partnerships, either with
Absolutely.
KSU, BCTC, jobs programs, things like that?
Absolutely. One popped up today in an email, and it just made my head go.
Oh.
I got an email from, is it LinkedIn? I don't ever say that right.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. And it hire military. I want to look into that. I mean, we're having a hard time hiring people sometimes. I mean, I may go 4 or 5 weeks without an application.
Yeah.
And like this week, I've hired 5 people.
Yeah.
But when we're in those lulls, can I get with a recruiter here and see if there's people returning back into states that needs a job?
Right.
That's just an avenue that I've kind of thought of today, because it's an issue. You know, we're always hiring for the most part.
Sure.
So there's always opportunities. I'll listen. It may not fit all the time, and I never think I'm too good to not do something.
Yeah.
I always have an open mind.
Sure.
So.
Okay. Well, again, indulge me for a minute. I've got another personal question.
Okay.
I see sometimes these interviews are like job interviews, because the people looking they're trying to decide if they're going to hire you again.
In
or
essence,
not.
that's what it is.
Yeah. So here's a job interview type question. How do you define integrity, and share a time when you showed integrity?
That's a good question. Integrity is basically doing the right thing when nobody's looking. That's
Okay.
exactly what it is.
Okay.
I can tell you how I've done integrity for 21 years.
Okay.
I've been in law enforcement with Franklin County for 21 years. Go pull my personnel files. I have 0 discipline write-ups because I police myself. I'm not going to do anything that's going to embarrass my family, my God, and my county. So I'm going to do the right thing no matter what, and sometimes it isn't easy.
Right.
I've been a police officer in this town and a jailer and a deputy jailer. I've had to arrest friends. I've had to deal with friends in jail. I've had to experience all that, but no matter what, I'm going to do the right thing no matter what.
Okay. Share with us an example of when you were able to prevent a problem because you foresaw the reaction of another person.
I'm going to think about that one for a second. I mean, as a police officer and a deputy jailer in law enforcement, you react to things on a daily basis.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of times it's how your demeanor is.
Yeah.
And for everybody that knows me knows that I'm loud. And sometimes I have to not talk and listen. And a lot of times at the jail, if somebody is up here and they're wired when they come in, a lot of times if they'll just listen, if you'll just listen to them and hear them out, they're okay. I experienced one the other night. I worked a night shift the other night, and one of my supervisors, mental health issue at the jail is a huge ordeal.
Yeah.
And it's tough, but we had one of those situations the other night, and this subject was in booking area, and one of my supervisors started playing Justin Bieber on the radio, on his phone and the radio, and it calmed her down. Now, is that technically good with policy? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But he thought outside the box and calmed that individual down that was giving us fits. So, I think listening is number one. And experience is number one too.
Yeah.
A lot of times you see the same people come through that back door at the jail, and you know what you can and can't do, to help them out. So experience is in there too.
Okay. I think the last time we talked about things that you could do in the jail to ensure there's a good medical program there. Do you want to follow up on that at all? Is anything that has happened since you've been there or to come?
I can tell you that in August of last year, we switched medical groups.
Okay.
We were with another medical group for 19 years. We parted on good terms. I'm always going to be professional, but we parted on good terms, and the bottom line is we couldn't agree upon a contract, and they were having a hard time fulfilling the 24-hour medical. When I pay for 24-hour medical, expect to get it.
Of course.
We switched to Western Kentucky Medical Group in August of last year, and as of today, they have not missed a shift, and we are very tickled with their quality of work.
Yeah. Well, good. I have one more question, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. And you've pretty much covered this, but are there any other, we talked about the goals that you want to champion during this coming term. Is there anything that you haven't mentioned that you want to make sure that you say?
Just want to continue moving forward.
Okay.
I've had some great jailers prior to me that I've learned from.
Yeah.
I've had some great sheriffs that I've got to work for that I've learned from. I want to continue to move forward and get better every day.
Yeah.
When I sit in that office up there and I think, well, I can't get no better than this. Well, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
I want my people to improve each and every day, and my main purpose there is to make sure my staff is well taken care of and have the leadership that they need and the tools they need. It's all about the staff up there, and there's some phenomenal talent there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I ran again. I didn't have to. I could have retired, but I wanted to stay because I absolutely enjoy going to work every day up there.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I do. And the staff makes it worthwhile, and dealing with the inmates is worthwhile. If you get to help one person every once in a while, it's worth it. And you get to help people on a continuous basis there. Like I said, I think I said it in the last interview you did, you can help people as a police officer occasionally. You can do it every day there. So I'm thrilled. I'm blessed to be your jailer, and I want to continue to do it. And
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Well, you obviously are, again, very passionate about your job and the things going on there at the jail. So I lied. I do have one more question. Okay. So how important is it to you to share this information? What are some ways you can be better communicating, not only with the public, with the fiscal court, or just, with
I think
with
we've gotten
everyone,
better
as
with
far as
that.
things that are going on in the jail.
I think we've gotten better with that too. For years and years and years, no news is good news from the jail.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting better with that with our social media. We've got some younger individuals that are in high-ranking roles at the jail that are technology gifted.
It's not going away, Jake.
I know, and I'll get them to post stuff quite a bit, and I'm always open. If a reporter calls, I'll talk to them. If State Journal calls, I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
It's getting better, but at the same time, a quiet day at the jail is a good day.
Right.
So I'm always open for questions. I'm always open.
Do you feel like the jail is transparent enough?
Yes, I think it's transparent enough.
Okay.
I don't think the public
Or
needs to
maybe I
know
should
about
say
everything
just
that happens.
transparent.
I think we're transparent
Okay.
To a certain point. There's a lot of things we can't be transparent about. We can't talk about a lot of stuff. We can't. I can tell you basically the charges, and what their bond is, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about medical. We can't talk about court dates and stuff of that nature. But I can try to tell you what's coming ahead.
Okay.
And there's a lot of House bills coming up. There's a lot of legislations that's changed in the last couple of years, and we can absolutely get that out there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming today, and I'm
I've had a
now
blast.
going to give you the chance to speak directly to our viewers who are your voters, and tell them why you're the best person for the job, and ask for their vote.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me.
Sure.
Franklin County, thank you very much. I've got 21 years of experience that just is key. I have leadership skills. I have training. Most importantly, I'm blessed to be your jailer. I've had a blast doing it for the last few years, and I'd like to do it for a little bit longer. I have some things that we need to get done up there before I call it quits. I ask for your vote on May 17th, and always be safe. God bless.
Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate your time. I know that our viewers appreciate hearing from you and hearing more about things that are going on at the jail. And it's just a good way to inform them. To the viewers, I want to remind you to get out and vote on May 17th because it is election season. We will be having live election returns on Cable 10 after you go vote on May 17th. So it's time to get informed. Voice your choice, and we'll see you next time.